I hope y'all waking up and actually paying attention to what's going on right now. The California ports, one of the busiest in the world, is looking hella empty right now, y'all. It's no ships pulling in, no shipments going out, and they trying to tell us, oh, don't worry, it's just because of the tariffs. The tariffs is the reason why this is happening. Maybe it is a little bit of the tariffs, but what else is it? Y'all just seen what happened the other day in some parts of Europe. Power outages. I'm talking blackouts everywhere. 50 million people was affected. And they talking about some solar activities. And now the supply chain is drying up quietly? I'll ask yourself, what moves easier through empty ports? Goods or something else? You think they clearing it out for business? Or they clearing it out for something they don't want to tell us? We gonna have to figure it out once it happened. Y'all gotta remember, every time history changed overnight, it started quietly like this. I'm telling y'all, we haven't seen the full picture yet. But best believe, this shit's already in motion, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is Natkuna Esther. If you're new here, hi, welcome. I'm so concerned. I'm extremely concerned. This is very concerning. Y'all, what the hell? Like, what is about to happen to America?
So, not a single international cargo ship at the port of Seattle. The port is effectively dead. The last ship from China will dock at a West Coast port on the 29th. And there's only 3 ports. There's like one in Northern California, one in LA, and then Seattle. So one of those 3 ports is getting one last ship
from China.
After that, oh wait, there's the last Chinese ship will dock on the East Coast around May 10th. After that, there will be no more shipments arriving from China. We're about to hit a level of scarcity at retailers nationwide that will make COVID seem like child's play. Don't believe me? Just take a ride on the ferry to Seattle and look south. The port is a ghost town, which it's normally a hustly bustly, super busy, tons of cargo containers. And during COVID, I do remember it was pretty empty because nobody wanted anything from China because, again, China was made out to be the bad guy because of COVID. So
America is about to learn how good we actually used to have it. The ports are empty. Food isn't coming in. Goods are not coming in. Everyone who works in the shipping industry is saying we are about to face a crisis much bigger than the empty shelves during COVID. We have felt entitled in this country to freedom, to democracy, to human rights, to unlimited food and crap to buy. We got lazy and we did nothing to maintain those freedoms and those rights. We assumed that other people would do it. We stopped valuing our own education. We stopped reading. We stopped being kind to other people. We got completely hell-bent on having more stuff, on having more money, on having more whatever, having more fucking Botox in our faces. It's a false ladder that we were taught to climb. And I don't know if this current iteration of Americans has it in them to survive the Great Depression, Part 2. But I don't know if we're going to have a choice, babe.
Wait, what the hell is going on? I'm starting to realize that we could be out here doing content and sharing news about these things. And in actual sense, after all of it being on social media in real life, it's about to be very difficult. I saw a video where someone compared this situation to COVID-19. People were saying, now before it was the governments that were enforcing us to live indoors and limited everything we could access. But now we don't even have nothing. you are going to reach a moment where you cannot go and buy something because nothing is coming into the United States. And people are concerned, then how is America going to survive? Could it be that this tariffs thing, Trump has pushed it too far? Like, he literally just wants to use Americans as collateral damage? No, because ladies and gentlemen, this is so scary. Like, let me know what you think in the comment section, and most especially for people that live around those areas. Because people that are living around Seattle, Washington, where the seaports are, around California, there in LA, people are literally witnessing empty. The sea is empty. Nothing is coming in. And people are worried. How is business, how is life going to move? Most especially since almost everything that we use on a daily has been coming from China.
Have you guys seen the ports? If you haven't seen the ports, go ahead and look in your search bar for Los Angeles ports or Seattle ports, because it is being reported they're an absolute ghost town. And the last ships are coming in at the end of this month. And on the East Coast, it's not getting any better. The last ship coming in from China is targeted for May 10th. And if you look at ports in China, the largest port in China, it is an active, busy hub. So it shows you it's not something that's sweeping the globe here. This is not COVID. This is more directed. This is direct effect of Donald Trump and his tariffs. And I'm not going to come in here and fearmonger and say we're not going to have anything, but you better believe if ships are not docking and they are not taking goods off those ships and they are shipping empty, 40+% of ships are shipping like empty or close to empty. What do you think that's going to happen? The only logical conclusion is there are going to be less goods on the shelves. And it's not only going to be, you know, your toys and electronics and things that you can get by without during a recession. It's going to be food, vegetables, fruits, grains, all sorts of things like that we import. We import a lot of beef and pork and things like that. Even though we have it here, we also import a lot of food as well, a lot of other meats from other countries. And you're going to see a drastic change in the next coming month. In the grocery store, in the retail shop, Walmart CEOs, Target, Home Depot, those CEOs sat down with Trump and said, look, the shelves are going to be barren.
I'm going to try to record this. This is like the third time without being interrupted. So I was listening to Hassan Pike this morning about the empty shelves and that the ports are going to be empty coming soon. And he was calling it the tsunami. And he's not joking when he says that, because if you look at it, once those last cargo ships come, that's it. It's done. Once they get to store shelves, that is it. And the fact that this is being compared worse than COVID is scary as shit.
There are no more ships coming from China. Reports from Seattle, Oakland, Long Beach saying their ports are becoming empty. Very few goods are still arriving from China now, which means the trade war that Trump has enacted and the tariff plan is going to start working its way into our wallets. We're going to see a lot more empty shelves. There's going to be a lot more pricing on goods because we, as the biggest consumer against the biggest producer, will no longer be able to hold the supply that we want. Therefore, yeah, we're going to start seeing the trade war actually happen. Regardless if you voted for Trump, if you didn't, this will affect every single one of us. It has nothing to do with political notion, really. If this is what you voted for, you are about to reap what you sow. Trump has started a war with the biggest producer in the world as the biggest consumer in the world. So this will affect every single person living in America. Take out all the immigration issues, all the other bullshit that's happening with that administration. This is one of those. Gas prices, grocery prices will lower on day one. We're at day 100 something. It is not lowering, and I don't think it will in the nearby future.
America, this is not a joke. All these videos and stories you've heard about the ports, this is real. This is Shanghai right now on the National Aquamarine site. Every single circle here in Shanghai is a vessel that's just sitting there. Now let's take a look at America. Here's Los Angeles, one of our busiest ports. Nobody's there. I even looked at Philadelphia and New York. Nothing. Then I thought about Washington State, huge ports. Nothing. Back to China. That's what I'm saying. This is not good. So these articles are not lying. Huge decline at LA port is a hit to truckers and a stark warning of coming tariff damage? I would say so. Once again, that's LA right now. Nothing. There's nothing there. Even Financial Times from Vision, a data provider, showed container bookings from China to the US fell 45% by mid-April. I don't think they're coming, people. I mean, this shit is everywhere. Empty ports, empty shelves. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but if you see the amount of circles on this map right here in Shanghai, the world's busiest port, that means they might not be coming. I just want people to know this is real.
So it begins. This is coming from a story in the Seattle Times published on April 25th, in which they talk about people in the Port of Seattle who work in the Port Authority there beginning to see the shipping start to dry up. It's frightening to tell you the truth, says Alex Smith, retired marine components industry professional, who started to notice fewer vessels coming in starting in mid-April. He worried it was an early warning system for the effects of the widening U.S.-China trade dispute. Fewer ships coming into the U.S. means companies can't get components, retailers and consumers can't get products, farmers and manufacturers lose foreign markets. Everything stops, Smith said. Experts think it won't be until May that the full effects of a U.S.-China tariff tit for tat hit the ports of Seattle and Tacoma, given the weeks-long transit times between the sparring nations. Port officials and port-dependent businesses are already feeling the early effects. Also bracing for what could be a substantial decline, not only in import and export activity, but also in work for related players. That includes longshoremen who handle the cargo and truckers who haul goods into and out of the ports. One of my fears is the local trucking community is going to be the first to be impacted by these changes in cargo volumes, said Jeff Belrud, Chief Operating Officer at the Northwest Seaport Alliance, which oversees marine cargo operations at both ports. For months now, fears of a slowdown have been masked by a surge in so-called forward buying. Starting last summer, many U.S. companies began importing extra inventory or shipping extra products overseas out of concern that then candidate Trump would win re-election and make good on his campaign promises of high tariffs. That forward buying continued in the first 3 months of this year, January, February, and March. The ports of Tacoma and Seattle handled nearly 666,000 inbound and outbound containers, a 24% jump from the same period in 2024. Now, however, the period of forward buying appears to be giving way to a period of slow or even no buying, especially since Trump raised tariffs on some Chinese goods to 145% earlier this month. Tariffs are essentially a tax on imported goods that is paid by importers, which often pass along some or all of that cost to consumers. Data from Marine Exchange of Puget Sound, an industry association, shows the number of arriving container ships berthing at Seattle and Tacoma terminals from April 1 to April 24 was down 12% compared with the same period in 2024. Arrivals of ships carrying automobiles in April was down 36%. Similarly, the number of container vessels arriving or departing from Seattle and Tacoma between April 1 and April 15 was down around 27% compared with the first half of March, and by around 24% from April 1 to 15, 2024. Alex Smith, the 80-year-old amateur ship spotter, says the drop is pretty clear to anyone actually looking at Elliott Bay. Give me a break, he said, laughing. There's no container ships.
This is the Seattle port today. This is where all of our imports come in. My whole life, I've always seen Maersk, Maersk, or Hoyland side shipping containers. This has always been full of shipping containers. Not today. And before any Republicans come in here, this has only ever happened one other time. And basically, this is a text message between me and my mother where I showed my mom this because the only other time I've seen this was in 2020 when this asshole was president and that thing happened last time. However, my mom was like, oh, it was like that in 2008 to 2009. My mom was 30 in 2008. I was 15. So I really don't remember that time super well. But she does, and my mom has now officially made it very clear to me we are in 2008 level recession, because the fact that this looks like this never happens. I can't remember a single time outside of 2020 when it looked like this, but this is my mom, who is now 47 years old, saying that no, this was also exactly what happened in 2008. You can see it from this angle. There's no ships coming in, there's no ships leaving, and there is literally no cargo, oh my goodness, shipping containers. There's just none. Like, it's wild, you guys. And like, I don't think you guys also understand. I went to the store today, and at QFC there are empty shelves. If you go to Walgreens, there are empty shelves. It's already starting again, just like last time. And just like last time, Republicans are saying it's not real. They're gonna say it's not real the whole time. And, it's insane. This is insane. It's absolutely insane. And I'm kind of scared because I live in a 1-bedroom apartment.